I'm sure that many of you have parents who use these little sayings trying to help you, but end up actually annoying you. Me too. Some of my dad's favorites are, "It is what it is. Don't let fear make your decisions. And you know what's going to happen? Exactly what's supposed to happen." Most of the time when he tells me these, I'm already stressed out. So I just roll my eyes and say, "Let me be mad." Turns out, these sayings actually have a lot of research behind them to show how helpful they are to our lives. The first thing that I would like to focus on is "yet" is the most important word. So my dad always says this whenever I'm not getting something right off the bat. It started in 6th grade probably, when I was learning how to be a percussionist. I was learning how to roll, and I wasn't getting it. So I said, "Dad, I can't roll. This is silly. I can't do it. I quit." A little dramatic on my side. And my dad said, "No, you can't do it yet." And I looked at him. "What are you talking about?" He said, "You have the teacher. Just keep trying. Don't give up. Keep trying. You can get it." I said, "Okay, sure." The next week, I kept trying, and I was able to roll. This has happened throughout all of my school career. So as recently as a couple months ago, I was doing complex integrals in AP Calculus. "Dad, I can't do integrals. Not working. There's no purpose for me to take the AP test. I'm going to fail. I can't do it." He said, "No, you can't do integrals yet." "Okay, Dad." "No, you have the teacher. Just keep trying. Keep that motivation going. You can get it." Okay. The next week, I was able to do integrals. So Carol Dweck did research that fits perfectly into this saying. She did research over mindsets, which is your established set of attitudes that you have towards yourself and your abilities. So there's 2 types of mindsets. There's fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. A fixed mindset is exactly what it sounds like. It's whenever you believe that your abilities are fixed. So whatever natural intelligence and talents you're born with, you believe that that's as good as it's going to get, no matter how much effort or motivation you have. So oftentimes people with fixed mindsets spend their time documenting their intelligence instead of developing it. So this means that instead of really learning material and trying to improve themselves, they're more focused on getting the A, on showing off that they can do it, even if it's not really beneficial to them. So if it's cheating, just showing that they get the A. So this is not the mindset that we want to have. What we want to have is the opposite, the growth mindset. So this is when you believe that your natural talents and abilities are just a starting point, and that with the effort, hard work, and motivation, you can achieve almost anything you set your mind to. So growth mindsets, people who have these, normally they know that they are going to fail eventually. So they have that in mind, and they think, "Okay, this works. It's just another way for me to grow. It's another way for me to learn." So they know that they will grow from their failures. So growth mindsets are instilled in us from a very young age. From Finding Nemo, just keep swimming, to the itsy bitsy spider. It went up the water spout, and then it fell. And then it went back up, and it fell, until it finally got up. To the tortoise and the hare. So the tortoise, slow and steady, won the race. It kept trying, it kept the motivation, while the hare was relying on its natural talents and abilities and just trying to show off, and it ended up losing. So what we want to have in life is a growth mindset. Angela Duckworth also did research that fits really well into this over grit. So she wanted to know who was successful and why. And what they found was it was the people who had the 5 on the grit scores, or the 4s and the 5s, people who were the grittiest. So grit is the tendency to sustain effort and motivation in your long-term goals. So the people who were successful were the ones who had grit, who were the ones who were resilient and could bounce back from things. So one of my favorite studies that they did was at Ivy League schools. See, these are some of the most competitive schools in the world: Harvard, Yale, Cornell, Columbia. And they took students who had 35s and 36s on their ACTs going into college and compared them to students who had 32s and 33s on their ACTs going into college. And what they found was the ones who had 32s and 33s often outshined the ones who had 35s and 36s. So their reasoning behind this was their grit. The ones who had 35s and 36s going into college probably didn't fail much in high school. Things just came easily to them. They never had to build that grittiness or resilience and never had to bounce back from things. The 32s and the 33s, while that's still a really good score, they knew that they were at the bottom of their class. They knew that they would have to work harder to succeed. So the 35s and 36s ended up cracking under the pressure a lot of times, while the 32s and 33s were thriving under it because they had that grit, they had that resilience. So yet is the most important word. With a growth mindset and high grit, you can achieve almost anything no matter the setback. The second saying I would like to focus on is choose your comparisons wisely. So my dad would tell me this whenever I was either competing against someone or I was working on the same thing as someone else, and they were getting it faster or seemingly easier than I was. And I'm very competitive, so I never liked that. My dad would always say, choose your comparisons wisely. And I didn't really know what that meant until I started doing some research. So what I found was the Stanford duck syndrome. So imagine a duck swimming across the lake. On top, they're all cute and fluffy, and it looks like they don't have a care in the world. You know, it's just nice, easy sailing. Under the surface, what we don't see is that they're paddling like crazy. They're trying to dodge things. They're propelling themselves. They're staying in line. But we don't see any of that. All we see is the nice, calm duck on top. So Stanford took this and applied it to humans. As humans, we compare ourselves to each other, whether we want to or not. But our comparisons aren't always true. So what we see in other people are their successes. We see their awards. We see their social media. We see what they want us to see. What we don't see is under the water, under the surface, how they're struggling. We don't see the extra practice, the extra homework, the extra tutoring, or they're stressing about it. We don't see any of this. So we truly can't compare our failures and our struggles to someone else's success because we don't know what it took to get them there. So Emmon and McCullough did a study that showed that instead of focusing on someone else's successes or our failures, if we focused on what we have achieved, what we can achieve, and thanking the people that got us there, we are so much happier in life. So some of the personal benefits to this is we are way happier in general. We have lower levels of depression, we're less envious, we're more optimistic whenever we realize what we have and what we can achieve. Some of the social benefits include getting stronger bonds with your friends and family or people that you might be in a relationship with. Whenever you're thankful for them and express that gratitude, you bond over that. Showing gratitude is as easy as doodling 3 things that you're thankful for that day, or texting or calling one person a day saying why you're thankful for them. It's as easy as these that will improve our lives and make us happier for the rest of our lives. So in conclusion, I hope that you guys can remember that yet is the most important word and to choose your comparisons wisely. Even though I roll my eyes at those sayings, it's some of the best advice I've ever gotten. So I hope that you can live to choose and understand the power of choice. Thank you.